I would figure out their trauma and their triggers, and then I would slowly dose them with their triggers and their traumas to put them into fight or flight modes.
A narcissist studies you in the beginning. I've been many people
loads of people have noticed about this narc thing, innit? You know, there's loads of stuff online about it, isn't it? Do you reckon, people? Because I can see it, and so can everyone else. You gotta ask yourself, why? Why is this narc awareness being so prevalent in the alternative media in this current times? Presently on Earth there has been a shift, whether people like to embrace this or don't want anything to do with this shift of consciousness. And there are those which embrace the shift. They don't quite know what they're embracing. And there's those which are getting close to understanding that the shift has happened, and they realize that they didn't shift, and it must be a bit traumatic for them, a little bit, and it doesn't sink in. That's the weird thing, for a while, because they can ignore stuff. Of course, anyone can do that. It's free will to all, and that comes with a price. That free will, it does, and to choose with options and to commit to a particular decision has its pros and cons, and the cons have not yet, or they're kind of seeping into the awareness of the people who we're talking about, the narcs, yeah? Everyone's been on about the narcs, haven't they? Some people have even had the misfortune to call me a narc. When if you call me a narc, then I can only mean one thing, and that's not I am a narc. No, waffling a bit now, but it's undeniable what's happened, people. Things have gone on for such an extent of time that it's taken a whole worldwide awakening, or an awareness, a shift of consciousness into a realm that was just there, a little bit beyond the comfort zone of what a group or a person of narcissistic core foundation would not want to go, would never want to go. They never went beyond the comfort zone of their self-justified, their own self-perception of control that they have over the world around them, external, and all the people that surround them. This control comes in many different shapes and forms, and how it's executed. And those ways have become boldly apparent to a general public awareness because of these videos, you know? These narcissist awareness videos that have become all over the shop. There's loads of them. Come on. Can't deny this, can you, people? Scratch your fucking chins about that. And it's just because the elders aren't particularly the best people to guide the younger generation, because lo and behold, most of them are narcs. So it's come to the point where there has to be some discernment here, and this awareness of narcissism has come about inevitably. It had to be done because the narcs are just not going to fucking do it, are they? So at least an awareness of it. So you get different levels of narcissism, yeah? Everyone has a bit of narc in them. Even the most empathic of empaths have a little bit of narc in them. Dare I say, Jesus himself was a little bit of a narc. And I'm not anti-Jesus or anything like this. I'm not a Satanist. But what could be perceived by the other as narky behaviour. And it's each to their own. So everyone perceives differently. And people would perceive something as narcissistic or passionate. It can even be confused for empathy. There's lots of things which confuse people, really. But the predominant narcissistic traits have really surfaced. They've come to the top, the creme of the crop, a rise to the top. And there's been some excellent examples, I've got to say. Perfect, absolutely perfect examples of such behaviours that, shockingly to some, even more shockingly to the others, had to be called out, because there was no way humanity and society could really carry on by going down that path of such narcissism, the N-word. It's true, though. So it had to come about this awareness. And did you know what narcissism is? That's the devil. That is the divergent timeline. That is the low grade, absolute low grade, obsolete way of thinking. That is basically being peddled as the standard or the highest way that any human being can operate. This is, well, people are becoming aware of this factor, and it's crumbling. And sooner or later, actually sooner, it will. It's well over the hill, and people are aware. Enough people for there to be such a large amount of narcissism awareness videos on YouTube. Now, going back to these people around me, I know that this does breach that law of, well, not law, no contact thing. I'm not contacting them. Like I said, these people in my life were such profound, immaculate examples. absolute embodiments of this energy in all different ways, right down to the because it's so textbook. You could actually tick these boxes off, and they'd have A plus grades of how much they would keep to that book of narcissism, of which there is a textbook, seemingly. There is, must be, because they all use the fucking same responses, very similar, so similar in fact they're almost identical. And these are limitations people have to realise. So when I say people, obviously the narcs won't. Anyone out there who is not yet a narc or not yet truly narcified, and that means you're pretty much disconnected from your spirit. Yeah? This is very non-spiritual, being a narc, yeah? Full on narc. This is about as non-spiritual as you can get. Yet there are spiritualist narcissists around, isn't there? Quite a lot. Actually, to be a spiritualist, you have to be a bit of a narcissist, don't you, as well? Like I said, Jesus could well have been considered a narc by some eyes. And each to their own way of thinking. Now, when the persuasion for the public awareness and the continuity and flow and the progression and the evolution of humanity's mindset, the way it operates, has needed a lot of dusting off. It's needed a bit of cleaning up over the past. People have begun to realise, haven't they? You know, that it does need a little bit of tidying up. And it's amazingly the universe has aided, has helped so much if one was to open their eyes and see. Yet everyone who hasn't opened their eyes are still stuck in the paradigm, lost. They are disconnected from the spirit. They're disconnected from their heart chakra. And they operate in a beast mentality. And they just fire up the lower chakras. Don't go near the heart and operate around that area. That's it. So once you open your heart chakra, I'm not being too mystical now, am I? You have a release, and there's a comfort, because you realise that you're not alone with anything or anyone that has also opened their heart chakra too. They're few and far between, but there are those that walk this earth at the very same time as I'm walking now. And these are the people who will naturally lead, not by forceful leadership, by being examples in their own right, not how to live one's life. Like I said, don't try and do what I do, or don't even attempt, because I do some things which are not particularly beneficial. But, you know, it's not like trying to be like someone. It's the operating system that is counting here, and the shift of consciousness to accept that. And it will have to take a whole worldwide shift of knowingness for this. It has. And it has been slowly but surely, but actually quickly but surely, these narcissists, or the hardcore committed ones, are definitely going to be boxed in. They're boxing themselves in because of the awareness around them. Do you realise this, people? That because these hardcore narcissists, they never look at these things, never update their system, never update their the way they think, because they think it's so good, have inevitably, really catastrophically cornered themselves. Yeah, they really have. And no one else can help them, though. Or, that's the thing, they really can't blame anyone for this either, because they know that they've done it all their lives. They've actually bragged about this way that they are, you know, to such an extent that possibly they can fly out there. Fly, yeah. They're to the extent where they've done it for such a long time. They're hardwired to think that way. It's like what naturally comes out of their mouth, autopilot, would kind of just make them stand out straight away. But they think they're not standing out. They think that they're rightfully, they have all rights to say that. Of course they do. I mean, it's free will. I mean, anyone has a right to say anything. Of course, there are things that one can say that really doesn't help a person out. And if you were to say to that person, it's best not to say that, and they go, what? Well, you should say that. Tell me what to do. And then you go and say something like, I'm not going to even say it, but like something really, really dodgy. Like something about possibly the worst thing you can find, like some sort of pedo-ish thing, or whatever. By the way, Scott Kramer has uploaded a video recently on his channel, Dazed But Not Confused. I've not looked at this video yet, but it exposes the cover-up of the UK paedophile sex trafficking ring associated with the cult, or the thing of Scientology. What Doug speaks about. These people, So, that's what I was going to say to, the people who kind of thwarted my efforts to fucking expose these people. It's like, what side are you on? Because you're actually supporting the fucking paedophiles and the sex traffickers by going against me. And that's what your kids will have to know. That's not an over-the-top statement, this. If you actually did know what you've held up, what you've kept people in pain, and it is you. Because everyone can see it. You don't want to see it, though. But everyone else can. And yes, something could have been done. Something could have been done. But it goes on. And it goes on because of these people and their mindset. If they're not prepared, or they can't bring themselves to actually acknowledge that, then the larger scheme of humanity's way of thinking, our operating system, will remain the same. And that is cognitive dissonance on a grand scale to such levels it's dangerous actually existing, because there's no sentiment, there's nothing of worth, nothing of value, nothing seemingly of value, no one can appreciate anything of actual worth these days. Something which has taken time to nurture, whether that be a skill or an art form, or even a process of finding something out. And collecting all the everything needed for that finding to be clarified, set in stone for humanity's evolution. And it may not seem of interest to people, or some people initially, when they see the finalized completion of it and what it has done, what it did expose. It exposed something, right, that people do not want to admit. And that is this narcissism thing, because people were caught out. And guess what? They were all narcissists, yes. And other people have begun to realise this, that weren't narcissists, or weren't hardcore ones anyway. Some of them were, actually. One of them was. And realised that the whole world needed this awareness, because it was dangerous. How and it had to be tended to, this particular trait of humanity. Humanity's mindset would rather let a fellow collaborator, which everyone is a collaborator, perish than actually collaborate naturally. When I mean collaborate, not use or... Yeah, there's collaboration, people take that differently. But there's some things which have gone on, yeah, which have raised a lot of questions, and these questions have been presented worldwide via the wonders of YouTube and other things. And like I said before, the awareness of narcissism has become the hot topic. It's becoming even hotter by the day. There's loads of shit. Yeah. Guess what, people? All you narcs, you can't get rid of that either. It's not going to disappear tomorrow. All those narc videos, there'll be more made. My recommendations are to these narcs out there, yeah, is find out what you are, and then wholesomely embrace that aspect of you. So I'm not like anti-narc in a way. In fact, one of my favourite people in the world is one of the best narcissists, and he's online churning him out. Everyone knows who that is. And if you don't, it's HG Tudor for all you fucking absolute imbeciles. Carried on watching this video. I don't know. 23. Friday, 21st of July, 2023. Yep. So yeah, it's well over that day of the anniversary of that paint attack, which I know I keep on going on about it, but this was a milestone. This is one of those monumental days of one's life. Yeah, I'm sure it would be for anyone else that it happened to. It just so happened to me. So that's the reason why I keep on going on about it. So if anyone says, why you keep on going on about it? Well, if it happened to you, I reckon you would too. Why didn't you saw that? Oh, no, you put it out. Yeah, you're right there. Why don't people fucking evaluate this first of all before they say anything? Well, they think, well, if it was the other way around and they said that to me, well, how would I react? No one questions that. No one actually puts that through their mind before they open their fucking dirty, fucking brainwashed, scripted mouths to come out with something that you fucking already know the answer to, or what they're going to say, actually before they say it. And then they reckon they can do that to you when you got something new to say, and they reckon, well, yeah, they won't cut you off, like, and then I keep on going on about these narcs, aren't they? With their traits. It's brilliant though, actually talking to the camera so the camera doesn't cut you off unless someone rings. They haven't. I'm going to turn it off right now. Have a think about that, people. I don't know what I just said, but I know it was something worthwhile. I'm going to crack on with these organites now. Oh, the organite trade now, these days, big time. Yep. There's all my stuff there. Epoxy. Epoxy for the laminating bits. Real special polyester. I got some new little cone molds as well for them. And I make like some mini cones. And then make some like I'll show you another time. I get busy doing all this now. I'm gonna set it all out nice and do some resin craft. So, yeah. Anyway, people, I love you all. Think about that narc thing as well. Maybe pay attention to it if you can. It's all for the next generation, really. You know, for your kids and shit. Like when your kids ask you, what did you do when you locked down, Daddy? And the daddy or the mummy says, oh, well, I fucking just try to thwart as much as I possibly could someone else's efforts to try and expose something of real truth to a wider audience. And I just did this purely because I was scared of the potentials this person could achieve. Yes, so I want you to follow in my footsteps, all you weak children. Yeah, fucking might as well say that. Yeah, people, love you all.